For the first year of my health and wellness journey, I spent the majority of my time studying the exact type of workout and foods every jacked and shredded person was eating. I was obsessed with figuring out what I needed to do in order to get the aesthetic body. This was my ultimate goal. And so, I started to get to work. Things were going really good, and I started seeing some incredible results. Some of my friends started to take notice, and they asked me, "Hey dude, how do you look so fit?" So I told them all the things that I've learned so far. Seeing the progress that I had made in a short period of time, many of them got a newfound inspiration to pursue a fit and healthy lifestyle, and some of them actually gave it a shot, but most of them weren't seeing the same results. And at this point I was confused, I was stumped. I thought I had all the answers in what I had learned. But what I had failed to realize, and the reason why a lot of them weren't seeing results, is because it was as much as what I was doing outside of diet and exercise as it was what I was doing with diet and exercise. When I start to study more and more of the most fit and healthy people on earth, I realize that 99% of them follow 3 extremely simple rules that most people fail to apply to their everyday life. The first rule that all healthy people follow is staying hydrated and drinking little to no liquid calories. It seems so obvious, and yet when I hang around the majority of people that I hang around, I see them not drinking water or staying hydrated for hours on end. They don't have water bottles near them. They just don't care about it. Even though water consumption in Americans has increased in the past 30 years, the average American only drinks 1.8 cups of water a day. Less than 2 cups of water a day. That is mind-blowing. And think about how you feel when you realize you haven't drank as much water as you usually do in a day. It takes only a 2% loss of total water content for your body to start feeling thirsty. Once you're at this point, your body is already in a state of dehydration, which leads to fatigue, cognitive impairment, mood swings, and a whole lot more. Oh, and let's not forget, for all you trying to build muscle out there, that muscle is made out of primarily water. So how can you develop the habit of drinking more water on a daily basis and not getting dehydrated as much? What I want you to do is drink at least a pint of water right when you wake up. No coffee or tea yet, get that water in first. Coffee and tea are actually shown to dehydrate you, which is why it's really important when you're consuming those 2 things to have water by your side while you are. Also, if you eat a high sodium diet, which again a lot of people do, that can also lead to dehydration. So make sure after you eat a salty meal that you drink a whole lot of water with it. The question you might now be asking is, how much water should I drink in a given day? It really varies based on how active you are, how much sodium you've had that day, how much you weigh if you're a man or woman, but a general rule of thumb for me personally, I think, is around 2 liters a day. But for a 200-pound dude like me, I try to have at least like a gallon of water a day. One of the easiest ways to drink more water is just by investing in a nice flask or a big gallon jug. You might be one of those people who has seen dudes or girls in class with a huge gallon jug of water on their desk, and you're like, what are they doing? But that's about to be you after this video. Just keep it with you at all times pretty much. It's just a nice signal to have near you that, oh, I need to drink this water right now. And a good way to tell if you are actually hydrated is to check your pee color. Yeah. Check out this chart on screen right now. It's usually an accurate representation of your hydration levels, although when you drink alcohol, you pee like completely clear, so that could be a time where it's not super accurate. And as for not drinking liquid calories, it's one of the best ways to reduce your caloric intake, because liquid calories can be very deceiving because they are not satiating like drinking a lot of pop. If you drink like a couple pops, I don't even know how many calories that is, probably a few hundred, and it doesn't feel like anything because it doesn't fill you up. It leads to you eating more calories, or drinking more calories, I should say, than you should be. It's all about the whole foods, baby, all about those healthy whole foods. And that leads me to rule number 2 that all healthy people do, and that is that they cook their own food. I have yet to find one person who lives a fit and healthy lifestyle that doesn't cook at least 80% of their food from scratch, except for, if they have a personal chef. Why does this work so well? It's because you know exactly what's in your food, and it's because it usually leads you to eat healthier. When you go out to restaurants all the time, or if you DoorDash or something like that, it's hard to gauge how much oil they're putting in, how much processed stuff they're putting in, or how calorically dense each food within that meal is. And while I don't believe in obsessing over every single thing you eat, because I think that leads to negative health consequences, I do think you should be conscious about the food you eat, and I do think that 80% of your diet, we're using the 80-20 rule here, should consist of whole foods. I use 80% for a lot of rules. It just works. It's a good number. That's why I said 80% of the time instead of 100% of the time, because fit people know that if they were to obsess over every single little thing they eat, then they would lose motivation to stay consistent more. When you let yourself eat a little junky sometimes, or you eat out sometimes, it feels good. It fits most people's lifestyles, and I know it fits my lifestyle. There are two barriers that stop people from wanting to cook their own food most of the time, and that is not having enough time to eat enough food, and also having no idea how to cook. I'm about to break those barriers down right now. You're not gonna wanna hear this, and this is gonna piss some people off, but not having enough time to cook is a complete excuse. The most successful people in the world who are also fit have their schedule packed from dusk till dawn. They have families, they have so much stuff to do, but still somehow find the time in their day to eat food they cooked because they prioritize their health over other distractions. Think about it. Most people watching this right now spend a lot of time on their phone, at least a few hours a day, scrolling through social media or watching Netflix, something like that. That's a lot of time each day that you could be spending preparing food. If you make it a priority, the biggest key thing right there, making it a priority to be fit and healthy, you will find a way to make the time to do this. Also, something that helps with time is meal prepping on like Sundays. Most people aren't working on Sundays, and if you spend a few hours that day to meal prep for Monday to Friday or Monday through Saturday, and you prep 3 different meals for all those days, then you'll have a bunch of meals already made for you, or you do that like every few days to keep the food nice and fresh. And then as for being a good cook, it's not that hard to make food taste good. I was a complete newbie a couple years ago. My mom, when I was in high school, used to cook everything for me. And then I went off to college and I figured it out little by little over time, but it really just boils down, no pun intended, to a few things. There's 3 things: following recipes online, using oil, and using some salt. Ideally, you want to use more seasonings than that. It's really just using a bunch of seasonings to make foods taste good. But those are the good starting points, and those are really the hacks for food. You're gonna feel better, you're gonna know where it came from, you're gonna put some love into those meals. I always spread just a little teeny bit of love in my meals, and you'll have learned a new skill that you can show off. I don't know what love I'm spreading. We're gonna ignore that. This will lead you into eating healthier, and it'll also lead you into being more educated about food and the types of foods you put into your body, which is why healthy people do this so much. And the last rule that all healthy and fit people do is they sleep 7 to 9 hours a night. Again, this might be something that you don't think you have time for, but you just need to prioritize it because sleep governs everything in your life. It is so important. It determines everything, and 1 in 3 adults does not get enough sleep. Sleep deprivation causes depression, cognitive impairment, and obesity. Yes, obesity. And healthy and fit people prioritize this no matter what. No matter what you see online about the hustle and grind until 4 a.m. mindset, that is toxic as hell, and real healthy and fit people don't do that. And ironically, that type of hustle mindset just leads to quicker burnout and leads you to be less productive over time. All right, listen up. I know a lot of you guys struggle with sleep right now. You might have the time to sleep, but you just can't fall asleep. Over these past few months, I have perfected my bedtime routine and what I consume throughout the day to give me the best quality of sleep that I've probably had in my entire life. I'm gonna share it right now. Firstly, depending on how long it takes you to fall asleep, you wanna plan ahead to go to bed earlier than the 7 to 9 hour mark, because I know for me, it takes me like 30 minutes at least to actually fall asleep once I put my head to the pillow. Second step is to not use any sort of electronics or any sort of stimulation like that at least an hour before bed. Also, I stopped consuming caffeine completely, which I think has really improved my sleep quality, but if you still consume it, don't consume it at least 8 hours before bed, but I would even say at least 12 hours before bed. Once I've got all that planning out of the way, I hop into bed and I'll usually read 5 to 10 minutes of some sort of fiction or philosophy. What this does is it kind of shuts up all the babbling I usually have in my head when I put my head to the pillow, when I close my eyes and I start overthinking everything. Reading 5 to 10 minutes of fiction or philosophy, some type of thing like this that is not very serious and gets you to focus on things that aren't related to, you know, your real world problems, it really helps. And then I will sit up and I'll meditate for 5 to 15 minutes doing mindfulness meditation with my eyes closed. And I've just recently actually started to listen to an Alan Watts guided meditation right before bed, and since listening to that, once I actually laid down after that, I pretty much become limp because of this guided meditation. I really do suggest checking it out. The link is going to be in my description to that. Hope that helps you too. So please apply these, and if you did enjoy the video, leave a like on it. It helps push this out to more people. I would really appreciate it, and I appreciate you for watching until the end. If you still need help with the meal and workout plan portion of living a fit and healthy lifestyle, I do offer coaching plans that are personalized. The link is in the description. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.